Tobago breaks ranks on Cuba, distancing itself from regional calls to end the U.S. embargo. Another killing tied to Danny Guerra. This time, his employee is ambushed at a Matura resort.
Ahead in sport, TNT's domestic football leagues fall under the FIFA microscope as suspicions of match fixing arise.
We had a rare dry season thunderstorm over southwestern Trinidad. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
Cuban doctors working in Tobago's healthcare system are anxious about their future. Their concern comes as the U.S. ramps up pressure on Caribbean nations to drop the Cuban medical brigade, calling it forced labor, and warning of visa restrictions, sanctions for governments that use it. One of just 5 Cuban medics on the island tells CNC3 News their contracts expire in June, but there's been no word on renewals. The doctor denied claims of trafficking, explaining that half of their salary goes to the Cuban government, while the rest, plus allowances, stays with them. Innovative Democratic Alliance political leader Dr. Denise Soifat Angus says losing the Cuban team would be a major blow to national health care.
I mean, Cuban doctors and nurses have played a critical role even in Tobago, especially in times when we lacked specialists. They have helped to fill real gaps, not just theoretical ones, in areas where we simply did not have enough trained personnel. If Cuban medical professionals were removed suddenly, the impact could be immediate and serious.
Dr. Soifat Angus, who trained and worked in the U.S., noted that even there, foreign doctors are used to fill critical gaps. Efforts to reach THA Health Secretary Dr. Faith Brebnor for comment were unsuccessful. This country is tonight distancing itself from a push in the region to end the U.S. embargo on Cuba. At the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States Summit in Colombia last Saturday, this country formally disassociated from a key paragraph in the declaration. That paragraph called for an end to economic, commercial, and financial sanctions against Cuba and rejected its designation as a state sponsor of terrorism. But Trinidad and Tobago is not alone. It is joined by Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Paraguay, and Peru. Coincidentally, the countries that are also part of the U.S.-led America Counter-Cartel Coalition. Guyana also broke ranks, but on narrower grounds, opposing specific language tied to sanctions and Cuba's designation. The humanitarian crisis in Cuba is primarily driven by a crumbling power grid, severe fuel shortages, and extreme weather. This has been exacerbated with the U.S. enforcing a decades-long embargo and a recent fuel blockade that threatens tariffs on third-party oil suppliers. Meanwhile, CARICOM is moving to dispatch humanitarian aid to Cuba as the island faces deepening crisis conditions. But while the region mobilizes, TNT has yet to say exactly what it will contribute to the effort. The initiative, led by CARICOM Chairman Dr. Terence Drew, is being coordinated through the CARICOM Secretariat in Guyana, with member states pooling resources to purchase and ship supplies. Relief items include powdered milk, baby formula, basic food supplies, medical items, as well as solar panels, batteries, and water tanks. CNC3 News reached out to both the Prime Minister and the Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister for clarity on TNT's contribution, but up to news time, there was no response. Independent Senator Anthony Vieira and opposition Senate leader Dr. Amory Brown are voicing frustration after Foreign Affairs Minister Sean Sobers declined to answer questions on TNT's stance toward regional security and narco-terrorism in Venezuela. Invited to the Senate to respond to 4 questions today, Sobers invoked a standing order each time, saying it was against the public's interest. Vieira tells CNC3 News he was disappointed, stressing that silence on such matters is never good for the public. Dr. Brown also criticized Sobers' refusal, calling it defiance of Parliament's oversight role. He argued the minister's silence signals that the current UNC government has no interest in upholding obligations under international law and the UN Charter.
Pursuant to the question raised as the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, it is my belief that it is prudent to invoke Standing Order 26.3, which states inter alia, Our minister may decline to answer a question if, in his opinion, the publication of the answer would be contrary to the public interest. Pursuant to the question raised, as the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, I believe it is prudent to invoke Standing Order 26.3.
CNC3 News also reached out to Minister Sobers for clarity on why he believes the questions raised were not in the public's interest. However, he did not respond. A week after Sangre Grande businessman Danny Guerra was gunned down near his office, one of his workers was ambushed and killed at a Matura resort last night. Police said 34-year-old Rondell Adolphus was gunned down as he left his cabin to get ice just before 9 p.m. Adolphus worked as a machine operator with Guerra's company, DG Homes. CNC3 News visited his home at Immortal Crescent, northeastern settlement Sangre Grande today, but no relatives were at home. While in the neighborhood, one of Adolphus's close friends and neighbors who also worked with Danny Guerra said he is worried about his own safety after the recent killings.
Yeah, I'm feeling unsafe. Yeah, I'm feeling unsafe because every day for 2 to 3 years, I've been with Patch every single day working with him. Being in his space, going on the site working.
Investigators say Adolphus's murder may be gang-related and is also believed to be connected to Guerra's murder. They, however, say it is too early to confirm any such link. And police are probing a break-in at Danny Guerra's home just days after his murder. Relatives say they locked the property located along the North Oraput Road on March 17th. But on March 22nd, the caretaker reported a window forced open and burglar-proofing cut. When relatives checked the living room and all 4 bedrooms had been ransacked. Missing were 4,000 TT dollars, $300 US, and a quantity of Guerra's jewelry. Investigators tried to review the home's security cameras, but police said no recordings were available. Independent senators are standing firm tonight, rejecting the Zones of Special Operations bill and insisting they will only support it if key changes are made. Senators Anthony Vieira, Michael de Labastide, and Dr. Desiree Murray all say they support ZOSO in principle, but they remain adamant that government should consider their amendments if they plan to reintroduce the legislation. One such recommendation was a sunset clause, which Defense Minister Wayne Sturge dismissed as a non-issue during a recent television interview. Sturge noted that the legislation would be reviewed after a 3-year time period, but de Labastide says this was not enough.
Yeah, my position stands as it pertains to the important amendment of the sunset clause. Some kind of sunset clause that would bring the legislation to an end, as it were, or maybe after 3-4 years. Because if we don't have that, then what we are saying is that we can't control the crime problem unless we have a kind of state of emergency situation permanently. And I don't think we should concede that as yet.
Questions about ZOSO's possible reintroduction to Parliament arose as murders continued despite the ongoing state of emergency. But Vieira suggests government should not use the emergency powers as its main crime-fighting strategy.
The problem with an SOE is that it really should be used for emergency situations. It's really not acceptable to have a prolonged state of emergency as a crime-fighting measure. We have to be careful about creep on the constitutional rights of citizens. And when you get accustomed to having those rights suspended, I don't think that that's a good thing.
During the debate on the SOE extension earlier this month, the Defense Minister insisted ZOSO will be reintroduced to Parliament and passed with or without opposition support. Well, with crime continuing under the state of emergency, today we asked, should government revisit the ZOSO bill? This is what you had to tell us.
It didn't make no sense, and you're going on and they were coming to take by state of emergency, and I can't think no. The whole, between me and you, brother, the whole UNC government needs Jesus in their life.
I don't think they had everything in place, so they need to go back and make some amendments to correct everything.
Yes, they should be visited because the state of emergency seems like it's still covering crime with that. Yeah, and it's also bill, they should at least try it and see how it will go now.
I think so, yes, because crime continues to be a serious issue affecting us, right? And if you think about it, the state of emergency is crime. And I think the people who are really affected negatively are the law-abiding citizens, not by the stipulations of the state of emergency, but rather by the effects of crime.
Crime is getting out of hand. It is a very serious matter to look at it at all angles. So yes, they should.
No, I think the police have to come out and do their work. They have a lot of crime going on, but they're not really doing their work. If they really search the people, they will find the people, and they're not really going where the criminals is, the big people.
5 men are now under preventive detention orders as the state ramps up its emergency powers to target gang activity.
Authorities say the men are linked to gangs operating in La Horquita, Port of Spain and Faizabad and were involved in violent crime or planning attacks.
One man was described as an active and operational member of a gang who functions as an enforcer in shootings and robberies. 2 others were accused of stashing and securing illegal firearms to be used in imminent attacks and retaliatory shootings.
Another was said to have taken part in violent firearm-related incidents and was planning reprisal attacks. All 5 are being held at the Eastern Correctional Rehabilitation Center in Arima. Well, still to come in the news, fire at Karapichaima West Secondary. Investigators say no evidence of student involvement.
A warning tonight for parents. Under the Anti-Gang Act, you too can be held liable if your child is caught in gang activity.
Coming up in sport, the West Indies women suffer another series shutout, this time against the Aussies. In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts, use of credible sources, and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dollard says investigations are ongoing into a fire at Karapichaima West Secondary School, even as allegations emerged that Form 5 students may have been involved. Speaking to CNC3 News, Dr. Dollard stressed that there is no confirmed evidence at this time of student involvement and authorities are still probing the incident. The fire was detected around 1:50 p.m. yesterday on the top floor of the Form 5 block. Within minutes, emergency protocols were activated and all 103 students and 42 teachers on the compound were safely evacuated. President of the Teachers Association, Crystal Ash, said no injuries were reported. 19 students have been arrested and charged for various offenses at schools. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander made the revelation in Senate today, noting that the arrests were made during the term September to December of 2025. The minister, however, did not give details on the charges laid against the students. The minister added that police officers' presence at schools is aimed at deterring acts of violence. Attempts to contact the minister to clarify the statistics were futile. Now, previous reports indicated that 33 students were arrested up to January 28th of this year, with vaping being the most common offense, followed by fights and disorderly conduct.
A warning tonight for parents, guardians, and those with responsibility for children that they can also be liable for minors held under the Anti-Gang Act. This message from Corporal Zahir Ali, Director of Policy and Community Support within the Ministry of Homeland Security. Addressing the topic of youth and crime on CNC3's The Morning Brew program, Ali spoke to the recent detention of 16-year-old Jalen George, who was held under a state-issued PDO for gang affiliation. His parents subsequently called for his release. But Corporal Ali stated that while minors are offered certain protections, a 7-year-old and above can be held criminally liable. In this jurisdiction, he's sending a clear message that parents need to pay attention to their children and affiliations, as harboring or recruiting youths under the Anti-Gang Act is a serious criminal offense.
So when parents and guardians are not exercising due diligence, or they are not paying attention, and their children are engaging and socializing with criminal activity or engage in criminal gang activity, it's not only the child who will be affected by the application of the law. You as a parent may be called in with a diligent investigation to show that you knew you were harboring, you were benefiting from this.
Ali noted that a recent symposium on youth and crime held by the Ministry of Homeland Security was extremely useful and beneficial. The event examined external influences, and Ali said they have determined that social media has a huge impact on children. He says they are willing to further discuss its regulation.
They have clearly signaled, JW, that the social media and what our youths in particular are exposed to, it is a very significant matter. And I know that the Honorable Prime Minister would have hinted to be looking at what's on social media. We have seen in other jurisdictions like Australia and other parts of the world, they are looking at regulating what's happening on social media.
They reinforced that to achieve sustainable results with children, an all-of-society approach is needed. Ali insists the Children's Authority has a critical role to play in guarding children's rights. ETEC has met with its new line minister, Land and Legal Affairs Minister Saddam Hussein.
In a release today, the company says it warmly welcomes Minister Hussein's oversight, promising full support as he guides its mandate to develop industrial estates, attract investment, and boost growth. But the move comes after weeks of tension between ETEC Chair Sushila Ramkissoon-Mark and Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Satyakama Maharaj. At the heart of the dispute, directives to approve a Hilton hotel deal last November and efforts to recruit a new CEO. Ramkissoon-Mark pushed back, questioning legality and defending the rights of the current office holder. The change was gazetted yesterday. Well, the THA Division of Housing is defending its decision to award 2 major contracts to the tune of $280 million to Trinidad-based companies.
Officials say the awards follow the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act, which requires open competition. The Adventure Phase 2 project went to CSSL Limited for $139 million, while the Riseland development was awarded to California Stucco Limited for $141 million. The General Contractors Association of Tobago has urged the THA to break projects into phases, giving its members a fairer chance to compete. But the division insists contractors must demonstrate they have the capacity to deliver. Former Minority Leader Kelvin Morris, meanwhile, argues the THA is going back on its promises.
Is a slap in the face of every right-thinking Tobagonian, because this is the same administration that just ran a campaign that said Tobago is we. So how come Tobago is not we when it's time for opportunities to develop the island?
Meanwhile, General Contractors Public Relations Officer Jaron Kwashi tells CNC3 News the THA has a mandate to develop the people of Tobago.
But this is also about Tobago economy. So when we have local contractors being excluded from the process, now we have fewer jobs on the island, fewer opportunity for business. We also have less money circulating within the island when the jobs are taken away from the Tobago domicile contractors or Tobago contractors homegrown. So now we have a ripple effect taking place within the economy where workers or persons are now on the breadline.
Kwashi said the contractors recently met Chief Secretary Farley Augustine and are hopeful change is coming.
Antimacal is reporting strong 2025 results with rising revenue, profit and earnings as CFO Nicholas Jackman points to stronger momentum driving sustained growth.
Andrea Perez-Sobers has more in tonight's Business Watch.
Anson McCall is closing out 2025 with solid financial momentum, delivering growth across all major performance indicators and reinforcing its position as one of the region's most diversified conglomerates. Chief Financial Officer Nicholas Jackman highlighted that performance, pointing to a year defined by resilience, expansion, and improving margins.
The group revenue increased to $7.8 billion, up 9% year on year, demonstrating resilient demand across a diversified portfolio. Our adjusted EBITDA grew 21% to $1.76 billion, reflecting strong operating leverage. And this is the kind of margin expansion that underpins long-term shareholder value. As far as profitability, Answer is back to the billions.
With the group pulling its membership from the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association last month following the increase in natural gas prices, Chief Executive Officer of the Anson McCall Group, Anthony N. Sabga III, says there are no plans for the group to form a new organization.
Quite frankly, we continue to remain as very active participants and substantial manufacturers within Trinidad and Tobago. I would venture to say quite humbly that I don't believe there's any other entity that operates the length and breadth and capability and variation of manufacturing technology and manufacturing products in this market like Anson McCall.
Sabga III adds that growth remains robust in the United States and Guyana.
As far as Guyana, I mean, it comes as no surprise that the Guyanese economy is performing quite interestingly. We have been participants in Guyana for quite a few decades, and we continue to invest alongside that growth.
Jackman and Sabga III were speaking at the group's unveiling of its 2025 financial performance at Salmon Estate in Sinclair on Tuesday. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Andrea Perez-Soba's CNC3 Business Watch.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Showdown at San Fernando's statutory meeting as UNC alderman is blocked from raising questions on city finances.
We had initially sunny conditions with a few showers over northeastern Trinidad this morning, then becoming more widespread during the afternoon and even a thunderstorm near Point Fortin. I'll have more details coming up just after the break.
Jason has watched every World Cup from here, but not today. Because he made all his purchases with Visa and won a trip to the FIFA World Cup 2026. Whoever uses Visa most wins. Pay with Visa.
Can you do this?
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Introducing the new Sun Mix Nut Bar. Available in 3 delicious flavors: granola raisin nut, almond cranberry crunch, and coconut almond crisp. All packed on a rich bed of dark chocolate.
Taste the good life, snack right. Taste the good life anytime. Good life.
Sun Mix Sunshine Snacks Sun Mix Nut Bar. Taste the good life.
Brunswick tuna. Perfect for snacking on a cracker. On its own. Snacking made easy, snacking made healthy, snacking made tasty.
The FIFA World Cup is coming, and all eyes are on Laminia Mall.
You like it?
wonderful journey we're on. Each stage is unique. And at Tata Life, we not only understand, but also appreciate that you'll have different needs at different times. So trust us to protect you and yours with our comprehensive range of financial planning solutions to ensure that you never, ever have to worry. To learn more, contact a Tata Life advisor or visit tatalife.co.tt today. For the many stages of your life, Tata Life, a member of the Answer McCall Group.
It's now time for the weather forecast with Jean-Marc Rampersad. Jean-Marc, a rare and random piece of rain came down today.
Yes, that's correct. Many areas would have gotten rain, but in the southwest, they would have had almost torrential downpours with a thunderstorm in that area. Wow. And I know that sounds really weird.
It must have confused a lot of people, right?
Exactly, and they would have probably heard a few rumbles as well. So let's take a look at some of the details. That rare dry season thunderstorm was over the southwestern peninsula today of Trinidad this afternoon, and it was centered near the Point Fortin Labre area with just a couple peals of thunder probably heard in the nearby areas between 12:45 and 1:15. Now the lightning strikes are represented by the small bluish-purple areas on your screen. Now you may be thinking that we're in the dry season, so this shouldn't be possible, but they're more common than you think. This was probably the third thunderstorm for this dry season, and they usually tend to favor the southwestern areas, especially when the winds are lighter than usual. Now onto the bigger picture. We have a slightly drier area approaching off to our east just here, which will give us a lower chance of showers tomorrow, but there's some moisture a bit further off here which will give us a couple showers on Thursday. Elsewhere across the region, conditions were mostly fair. So the forecast for tonight, mostly fair over both islands with the odd shower mainly after midnight, favoring eastern areas of Trinidad. Overnight lows of 23 in Trinidad and 24 in Tobago. Tomorrow we'll have slightly drier conditions with just a low chance of a few showers favoring the afternoon again, and we've had some relatively warm days recently, as yesterday was one of the hottest days for the year. Now tomorrow shouldn't be as warm, but the high should get up to about 32 degrees Celsius. Sea conditions are moderate with waves in open waters up to 2 meters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. Winds are expected out of the east-northeast at 15 knots. Now these conditions should generally remain consistent for the majority of this week. Looking ahead, isolated showers tomorrow and on Thursday, but it's shaping up to be a drier end to the week. Now conditions will be consistently warm with highs of 32 degrees across most of the days. Now, over in the northern hemisphere where we are, spring has officially taken hold as cherry blossoms show their true colors. In Japan, the sakura front arrived early. Tokyo's first blooms appeared 5 days ago, and now while full bloom is expected this week, many cities are already flooded in pink. In Washington, D.C., the trees have reached the puffy blossom stage with peak bloom expected there this weekend.
Wow, it always coincides with Pui season here in Trinidad.
It does, and it's
like their cousins.
A very vibrant pink color.
Love it. I have to visit it sometime.
Yeah, but like you said, our Pui season also spectacular.
So beautiful.
Definitely.
All right, well, thank you so much, Jean-Marc. But of course, Jean-Marc has a very important announcement to make at the end of our newscast. So please, viewers, you can come back and join him. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Can you do this?
Jason has watched every World Cup from here, but not today. Because he made all his purchases with Visa and won a trip to the FIFA World Cup 2026. Whoever uses Visa most wins. Pay with Visa.
Is mealtime more of a chore than a cherished time?
Does a lack of appetite keep your family, young and old, from getting the nourishment they need? Introducing Apetamin, the gentle, effective appetite stimulant designed for every age. Apetamin helps spark the natural desire to eat, turning hesitant nibbles into satisfying meals. Watch as food becomes exciting again, fueling growth, energy, and shared moments around the table. Give your body the gift of a joyful appetite. Find Apetamin in pharmacies nationwide.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Ramadan specials at Food Basket, Arima, Shagwana, Champlain, and Gulf View. Goat, 4 pounds for $99. Chana, 5 pounds for $19.95. Delicious dates, $19.95 per pound. Big deal, 1 gallon oil, $59.95. Crown 8 kg rice, $59.95. Green butterfly evaporated milk, 3 for $17.95. 4Z vermicelli, 1600 gram, $24.95. Ramadan specials at Food Basket, Arima, Shagwana, Champlain, and Gulf View.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
It's Jenny's exclusive Big Easter Sale. Get 25% off everything store-wide. All departments, no exceptions. 25% off. Jenny's exclusive Easter Sale. Jenny's, Princestown, San Fernando, Rio Claro, Gasparilla Mall, and M6 Plaza Chaguanas. Your low-price headquarters, Jenny's.
While the People's National Movement has recently faced criticism by former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, the party's public relations officer says the entire incident was blown out of proportion. Speaking with CNC3 News on his way to Senate, Faris Al-Rawi assured there was no controversy or tussle for power, despite Dr. Rowley's statement and the subsequent support he received from the party's membership. On the contrary, he says it was simply democracy at work. He says there was no different to sentiments expressed during similar handovers between Dr. Rowley and his predecessor, Patrick Manning, as well as Bastio Pandey and Kamla Prasad Bisesa.
UNC Alderman Viliana Ramutasing clashed with San Fernando Mayor Robert Parris during a statutory meeting today after she was blocked from raising questions on finances and city operations. Ramutasing says she has been trying for weeks to get answers at the committee level, but was again shut down when she attempted to speak. She and other UNC councillors called for full financial reporting on Carnival 2026 and City Month 2025, including outstanding payments to vendors and revenue from fundraising events. They also raised concerns about the condition of market facilities and the impact of changes to casual workers on drain cleanings and community services.
We are still paying bills from 2024 City Week events for alcohol and cigarettes. That came up for approval, and all the UNC councillors and aldermen voted no.
But Mayor Robert Parris dismissed Ramutasing's claims, defending the corporation's management and criticizing Ramutasing's approach. He said Carnival is run through the NCC and all reports are audited and submitted, so no vendor is owed anything. Parris also denied any political bias in decisions about casual workers, saying the corporation is managing limited resources ahead of the rainy season.
All right, well, the Southern Games are over and Jassi Marique begins the recap. Sport is up next.
Thank you, Ria. I attended, I took it all in with my own eyes, and I am pleased to report Simplex Athletics Club dominated the podium in the track and field events. And Sinner etches his name into the Masters 1000 record books. We'll explain after the break.
Struggling with picky eating? Or unexplained loss of appetite? Or tired of trying to gain weight with no results? Apetamin is here to help. This powerful appetite stimulant encourages healthier eating, supports weight gain, and improves BMI, perfect for both adults and children. Only Apetamin contains lysine, an essential amino acid that boosts appetite, builds muscle, supports growth, and aids calcium absorption. Take control of your appetite and reach your weight gain goals with Apetamin. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Your immune system is your first line of defense. Discover BioStrath Immune Health. BioStrath Immune Health is enriched with zinc, ensuring that your body stays resilient. BioStrath Immune Health. Get what you need naturally.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
We are in Marabella today with Paria Fuel Trading as well as Pennapool.com, where they join together to ensure that the children's future is in their backpack.
So in a few weeks, you're going to sit the SCA exam.
How confident y'all feeling?
You have this. You have been preparing to be calm and confident.
You reach on the day of exam, make sure and say your prayers. Without God, nothing is possible.
What school are you passing for? Naparima boys, come on! Presentation, St. Joseph Convent, where else again?
On behalf of Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited, I want to wish all the FCA students good luck and God's blessings.
So what do you think Paria does?
Paria powers Trinidad and Tobago.
They have placed their belief in our students and invested in them as well.
SCA is a chance to show how hard I work.
We will study hard and do our best and make you proud in the SCA test. Thank you.
Do your best on March the 26th.
Welcome back. We begin with football news. Despite an assurance from Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League CEO that every player's contract contains anti-match fixing rules, domestic club football tonight faces bombshell allegations of misbehavior by as yet unknown players, as well as FIFA intervention.
FIFA is once again involved in Trinidad and Tobago's football, this after new accusations of match fixing and manipulation. TTPFL CEO Yale Antoine said he would reserve comment until the process was over, though he could not give a timeline for its completion. Antoine added that the league had instituted new match fixing guardrails for the 2025-2026 season.
Before the start of the season, we included in the regulations and in every player's contract anti-match fixing and rather match manipulation clause, where they would have been informed and had to sign before even playing their first game that they would abide by the rules of the regulations of fair play.
The new clauses explicitly prohibit players in the TTPFL from betting, match fixing, and providing inside information in aid of gambling. Players suspected of these violations can be referred to law enforcement or the disciplinary bodies of the TTFA. The rules compel players to submit themselves to interviews, possibly involving a polygraph. Players, staff, and other administrators are also charged with the responsibility to report their suspicions or prior knowledge. In April 2019, FIFA banned former TNT footballers Keno Thomas and Carlin Murray and 6 others from football-related activities for life. This after finding them guilty for their role in match fixing and manipulation following an extensive multi-year investigation. In 2023, after Travis Mulrain sounded the alarm on the scourge creeping back up, Sport Integrity Global Alliance member Brian Lewis opined that the TTFA needs some assistance to buffer its defences. He sees the period since then and the latest allegations as a missed opportunity.
What's really disappointing is that this has taken 3 years when it should have been a scenario where the TTFA and the local football fraternity would have appeared to have acted promptly and addressed the matter, rather than the impression that, it's FIFA now, taking the lead.
Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport. It's a matter we'll continue to monitor. Cricket now. Georgia Vols maiden T20 100 helped Australia complete a 3-0 whitewash against the West Indies last evening in St. Vincent. And after outright wins in games 1 and 2, the Aussies had to settle for DLS assistance in game 3 last night.
West Indies women sent the Aussies into bat and Beth Mooney took the attack to the hosts. Mooney was out for 11, however. The score was then 18-1. That brought Phoebe Litchfield to join Georgia Vole and adding 39 for the second wicket. Litchfield was second out with a score on 57 as she made 15. That's where Vole took lead and shared in a 42-run partnership with Ellis Perry. Vole started to clear the ropes as she got more comfortable with time. However, an edge of Deandra Dutton was the undoing of Perry on 18. Talia McGrath made 2, Australia 112 for 4 at that stage, and West Indies getting back into the game. But they needed to get rid of Vole, who was nearing 3 figures. The 22-year-old hit 6 sixes and 9 fours in a 53-ball knock, and raised her maiden international T20 100, taking just 12 matches to do so. West Indies captain Hayley Matthews finally put an end to her innings on 101. In fact, the Barbadian took 2 wickets in the over as Australia slid to 178 for 6. But a late flourish of 25 from their captain Sophie Molyneux pushed the visitors to 211 for 7 in 20 overs. Matthews took 3 for 29. The windy start was disastrous. Kiana Joseph bowled for duck. Young Ebony Brathwaite and countrywoman Matthews put on 30 for the second wicket, trying to keep up with a required run rate in a chase in excess of 200. Brathwaite was undone by a good slower ball that she couldn't keep down. And Janelia Glasgow only made 33 for 3. Matthews and another Barbadian, Deandra Dutton, brought life back into the innings until the rain brought a premature end to the innings at 61 for 3 in 10 overs. With play unable to resume, the West Indies were found 40 runs short via DLS, giving Australia the 3-0 series win. The first ODI is on Friday in St. Kitts. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Precious Holford displayed an appetite for precious metals, scooping 3 gold ones at the Southern Games on Sunday. Her exploits helped Simplex to 14 medals as the 2-day event concluded. With traditional pomp and ceremony of the formal and the informal variety, Skinner Park San Fernando welcomed back the Southern Games after last year's absence, as well as an appreciative audience for 2 days of athletics and cycling prowess. Offering a glimpse into its prolific youth program, Simplex Athletics Club's Precious Holford shone brightest with 3 gold medals, the most of any athlete on the day. 10.43 was a time in the under-17 girls 80-meter dash, beating teammates Amelia Lee Jones in 10.67 and Tassia Debiset in 10.73. The boys' race was even closer. Faizabad Athletic Club's Joshua John appeared to have it covered before Siparia AC's Kareem Charles stepped forward to challenge, but he had to settle for second in 9.61 to John's 9.53. Up in the under-20s division, Simplex again, this time JL Archibald from lane 3 in 10.75 over Stallions duo Janelle Alexander and Janessa Rodriguez in 11.15 and 11.16. Despite 4 Simplex athletes featuring in the boys under-20 final, Kadel Coffey's 3rd place was their best performance. Instead, Aiden Benjamin of Neon Wolves came through in 9.23 and Tishon Hamlet of Stallions was second in 9.27. Adrian Bailey won the Open Men's 80-meter impressively in 8.94 seconds, showboating ahead of Chad Richards in 9.03 and Joshua Raymond in 9.22. It made for double gold on the day for Bailey, who also won the Open 300-meter. Holford also counted under-17 300-meter gold among her haul and picked up her 3rd win for Simplex in the mixed 4x200-meter relay. Simplex won the under-15 as well as the Open division versions of that event, while Stallions won the under-20 4x200. All in all, a strong welcome back for the athletics segment of the 2026 Southern Games. Stay tuned for Wednesday night's cycling recap. Policemen's netball team claimed the Courts All Sectors knockout title on Saturday, while the Defence Force women ended their premiership campaign in 2nd position. Caston Cupid has those highlights. Police crowned a dominant season by completing the coveted double, adding the knockout title to their men's league triumph with a gritty 22-19 victory over the determined Reboot Tigers outfit. It was a closely contested final with the officers in the blue bibs and Tigers in the red, both trading goals in the early stages and showing some defensive resilience. However, police found another gear after the break, producing a decisive 10-7 second-half surge that ultimately separated the teams. Leading the charge was Jarrell Doorbell, who delivered a near-perfect display under the post, converting all 19 of his attempts in a flawless shooting performance. He was well supported by Keon Russell, who added 2 goals, while Emmanuel Russell chipped in with 1 to round off the scoring effort. Reboot Tigers fought hard to stay in connection, with Steve McSween producing a team-high 15 goals from 25 attempts, while Isaiah Collins contributed 4. Despite their resilience, they were unable to close the gap in the latter stages as police maintained composure to see out the win. In the Premiership Division, Defence Force finished the season in second after a dominant performance dispatching UTC. Adasha Norton was the standout performer, leading all scorers with an impressive 34 goals from 50 attempts, while Rihanna Ali provided solid support with 14 from 21. UTC's resistance was led by Crystal Noel Cockburn with 16 goals alongside contributions from Genesis Clifford and Pearl St. John, but they were ultimately outmatched by a more clinical Defence Force outfit. They tasted victory by 22 with a 48-26 final. The final Premiership Division standing shows the UTT champions with 16 points, Defence Force 5 points behind in second, with Police third with 9 points. Tigers, the defending champs, finish in fourth with 2 points, the same as last place UTC. Castan Cupid, CNC3 Sport. All right, now into international focus. A World Cup winner eyes a new chapter across the pond, and Sinner sets a new tennis record. The USA's Major League Soccer is set to attract another football megastar as former France forward and World Cup winner Antoine Griezmann will join Orlando City in the summer from Spanish side Atletico Madrid. The 35-year-old, who retired from international football in 2024 with 44 goals from 137 caps for France, is also Atleti's all-time leading goal scorer and has also played for Real Sociedad and Barcelona. He said, quote, "I am very excited to begin this next chapter of my career. I look forward to making Orlando my new home." End quote. And finally, Italian tennis star Jannik Sinner has surpassed Novak Djokovic's 10-year record for the most consecutive sets won at ATP Masters 1000 events. The world number 2 recorded his 25th and 26th straight sets at the sport's highest level of tournament below the Grand Slams in a commanding 71 minutes 6-1, 6-4 victory over Frenchman Corentin Moutet. And now, as we end, a gift from the Gunners.
To put the Blues on the ropes. A team goal rarely, but take a bow, Kelly. You earn tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
At least 2 people on our desk will really appreciate that goal tonight.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
This is your chance to save big this Easter because Bright Ideas Big Easter Sale is here. Bigger deals, brighter savings. That's the sound of prices getting slashed on all your home essentials store-wide. Unbeatable specials on glassware, cookware, utensils, and much more. Stock up now. Towels, 4 for just $100. Irons from just $85. Highest quality blackout curtains, 2 for just $99. That's a steal of a deal. Clean bed sheets, 2 for only $100. Huge savings on glassware, cookware, bakeware, and tableware. Post in style this Easter. Hurry in. These Easter deals won't last. Don't miss out. Head to the nearest Bright Ideas store today and save big because Bright Ideas annual Big Easter sale is here.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Get a free pair of polarized sunglasses with the purchase of new Gen S Transitions lenses with anti-reflective coating and frames. Selected designer frames now just $4.99 with additional promotions. Hurry! Limited time only at Seaview Optical.
We are in Marabella today with Paria Fuel Trading as well as Pennacool.com, where they join together to ensure that the children's future is in their backpack.
So in a few weeks, you're going to sit the SCA exam.
How confident y'all feeling?
You have this. You have been preparing. So you'll be calm and confident.
You reach on the day of exam, make sure and say your prayers. Without God, nothing is possible.
What school are you passing for? Naparima boys, come on! Presentation, St. Joseph Convent, where else again?
On behalf of Power Fuel Trading Company Limited, I want to wish all the FES students good luck and God's blessings.
So what do you think Paria does? Paria powers Trinidad and Tobago.
They have placed their belief in our students and invested in them as well.
SCA is a chance to show how hard I work.
We will study hard and do our best and make you proud in the SCA test. Thank you.
Do your best on March the 26th.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, in Devashagonas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon. Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you to everyone who stayed with us up until this point in our newscast. We do have a very important yet somber announcement. Jean-Marc would have read his final forecast, or presented his final weather forecast with us this evening. Jean-Marc, go ahead, take it away. Tell people what's up.
Well, I got another job opportunity, and it won't be in Trinidad and Tobago, so this was my last night on air. And I just wanted to thank everyone in the newsroom and, most importantly, the viewers at home who would have supported me through this time. And I know you all would have seen me around the country running errands on a weekend, and you all were always very supportive. And everyone on this desk in the newsroom, you all helped me transition from that scientific background into the media. And, you know, being an outsider, the media isn't always respected. And it's not until I started working here I valued the importance of the media in society. And people don't really get that. But other than that, so one of the main highlights of my time here actually has nothing to do with the weather. It is the goal of the tournament that I scored downstairs. We didn't win the tournament, but, you know, it's still talked about.
I'm so glad you brought that up, actually. We do have some video of that moment, so let's take a look at this.
Most memorable occasion with Jean-Marc took place outside of the newsroom environment. In fact, it took place downstairs in the parking lot. There was Inter-Department Football Club, and he scored a spectacular goal.
There it is, beautiful.
I actually still remember the World Met Day when we did, you know, all of us trying to do what he does, and that stands out as a special one because, you know, you think it is easy sometimes going in front of the camera delivering the weather.
Having to come on the 7 p.m. newscast and present the weather live every single night was a new thing for him, and he really stepped up to the plate. I know presenting the weather every single night is not an easy thing to do, but he really made it his own, and I'm so proud of all that he was able to accomplish.
There will always be this iconic moment of Jean-Marc while he was on air. He was about to point to a graphic, and I think at that moment he forgot that he was actually delivering the weather forecast.
In this video from the IMA's Facebook page, we can clearly see the bleached corals. Taking a look at the satellite now, relatively quiet. So
I think the rest of the studio crew were confused, but the only thing we could do was just laugh. these things happen.
I think the most memorable moment actually was when I convinced him to put the Grinch hands on for weather.
Let's take a look at the satellite. Now, we don't have much activity off to our immediate east.
And then to see him standing up there during the 7 p.m. news with his hands just kind of tapping the desk, I thought that was hilarious. And it fitting really well with his personality, but I was very surprised I was able to convince him, and I love seeing it on air.
Over the past few weeks, you've definitely seen it and probably even smelt it. Now, the sargassum seaweed is a natural part of the ocean, but the Caribbean region is learning to live with it.
What seems to be a tornado inflicting numerous incidents of damage on several of the houses here.
In a perfect world, even if we get the emissions and by extension the temperatures under control, we still have to plan. Sorry, I said the NBC too. Just want you all to interview after, right? And
it is bittersweet to see him going. You know, he's moving on to a better opportunity. So we wish him all the best in all that he has to do. But, you know, we look forward to hearing his weather reports maybe in the future.
As he embarks on a new journey, I just would like Jean-Marc to know that he has friends here. We are rooting for him.
And I know he will do amazing wherever he goes to next. So I just want to say a job well done, Jean-Marc, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors.
Jean-Marc, you're a brilliant young man, and I wish you nothing but the best as you continue your meteorological path.
I just wish him all the best, and I'm sure he'll do great wherever he goes.
Good luck, Jean-Marc.
Jean-Marc Rampersad, CNC3 News.
What are your thoughts?
You almost made me cry.
I'll wait till you see this one.
Well, I just want to say, Jean-Marc, it's been a privilege to work with such a professional, a meteorologist, a true meteorologist. I believe this is your first time. I had one next to me on set, and, you know, I really enjoyed learning so much from you, the science behind everything. There wasn't a question about meteorology that you couldn't answer. And I believe if it was anybody in this newsroom that provoked the journalist in you, it would have been me. You know, I really tried, and I must say I enjoyed looking at you grow, how much you learned. You took all the feedback and the criticism, and you took everything and you just ran with it, and you became better and better and better. So it's really an honor to work with you.
Thank you for the push and the buffs.
It worked very well, but you know, we spent a couple of weeks in Belém, Brazil last year, and you did such fantastic work in Belém, Brazil. And I'm not talking about the journalism, I'm talking about getting the TV to work in the apartment. But we were able, I was adamant that we had to watch Trinidad and Tobago's World Cup qualifiers, and Jean-Marc somehow was able to do that.
Once it's football.
Yeah. But your most memorable moment here, definitely not on set, but in the car park with that goal.
Yeah, Jean-Marc, a former sport anchor to, you know, a obvious sport fan yourself. Great goal, and of course, I would reflect on not anything that happened within these walls or even in the car park, but the first time you turned out for the media touring team for a FET match in Diego Martin, and many people were very impressed by your football skills. I wasn't so much, knowing that you come from some football pedigree and background, and I'll hold that as one of the moments that I think we were able to bond most during your time with us.
Well, I wrote you something on behalf of the team. Dear Jean-Marc, as you step into your next chapter, we wish you nothing but clear skies and bright sunshine ahead. May every storm you face only make you stronger, and every cloud reveal a silver lining. And when the rain falls, and the showers will come, may it be a downpour of blessings. If you ever feel far from home, may a warm breeze wrap you in comfort. And if you ever miss CNC3, we hope you're flooded with the memories, the laughter, and the moments that made it all worthwhile. Like an eclipse, your time with us here was brief but powerful and impossible to forget. So keep looking up and never stop reaching for the stars. Thank you, Jean-Marc. You have left your mark. From all of us, we wish you the very best.
Thank you very much, guys.
And thank you, Jean-Marc, for your service to our station and to our country.
Yeah, we'll miss you. So you could sign off on behalf of the team. This is your moment.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Jean-Marc Rampersad with CNC3 News. Have a good night.